Yo, everybody, it's your boy Bahal back with another ghost story that'll chill your spine. And trust me, by the end of this one, you'll be hearing whispers in the dark. That ghost might see you. You scared? I got you. Let's get started. Shh. One day, four teenagers, bored with nothing to do, decided to explore the notorious haunted house in their small town. Locals whispered a chilling legend that a girl named Sarah once lived there. She used to tell ghost stories to nearby kids late at night. The terrifying part? Every child who heard her tales vanished without a trace within days. The townspeople were convinced Sarah was an evil witch. To stop more kids from disappearing, they publicly executed Sarah. But when villagers went looking for her, they found she had hanged herself using her own hair, and her family had mysteriously vanished as well. The house fell into total abandonment and gradually became known as the Cursed Mansion. Knowing the haunted house's story didn't scare the teens. Instead, it made the adventure more thrilling, even reckless. They started playing hide and seek inside. During the hunt, Stella accidentally discovered a secret door. When she opened, it was covered in thick spider webs. It smelled damp and foul. It seemed to be Sarah's old room. Meanwhile, Chuck hid in a bedroom wardrobe but stayed hidden for a long time without a single friend coming to find him. Nervously, he cracked the door open and gasped. Inside, the long-abandoned house was strangely lit up, with an old woman and a husky sitting by the bed. The woman suddenly turned to look at Chuck, scaring him into quickly shutting the door. Realizing he was dealing with something supernatural, Chuck ran downstairs to gather the others and leave. Soon, they all reunited in the secret room behind the hidden door. The scene overloaded Chuck's mind. He had thought those scary stories were just to scare kids, but now it seemed they were real. Stella found a strange storybook on a bookshelf, rumored to be written entirely in the blood of the missing children. While they argued about whether to read it, a terrifying noise came from behind them, and all the candles went out. They thought it was a ghost until Tommy's voice broke the silence, revealing it was a prank. Tommy, their friend, had secretly followed them into the haunted house with his gang. He pushed Chuck's sister Ramon into the secret room and locked the door, then left without a word. Everyone frantically searched for a way out, but Stella was still absorbed in the storybook, repeatedly begging Sarah to tell them a story. Unexpectedly, a dark shadow rose slowly, floated to the door and unlocked it. The group thought it was another of Tommy's tricks and quickly ran home. But Stella, captivated by the book, secretly took it home. While reading, she noticed the stories were freshly written, with the red ink still wet, and the main character of this new story was coincidentally named Tommy, just like their friend. Meanwhile, Tommy had returned home, and his mother sent him to deliver eggs to a neighbor. Reluctantly, he went to the barn to grab the eggs, unaware a sinister shadow was silently watching him. To take a shortcut, Tommy cut through the cornfield, where a scarecrow stood. Whenever he fell down, he would punch the scarecrow to vent. But as he moved forward, he suddenly saw a second scarecrow appear. Growing up here, Tommy knew there was only one scarecrow. Confused, he noticed a wooden stake that anchored the scarecrow, but the figure was gone. His skin crawled, and in the next moment, the scarecrow blocked his path. Tommy turned around to run but tripped over a steel fork on the ground. Seeing the scarecrow getting closer, he stopped running, grabbed the fork and stabbed it into the scarecrow. But as a figure made of straw, physical attacks couldn't harm it at all. The scarecrow snatched the fork and stabbed Tommy right through the stomach. Struggling, Tommy ran while shouting for help, but straw started pouring out of his mouth. Soon, Tommy became a scarecrow himself. Horrified, Stella told her friends what she found in the book. Tommy hadn't come to school that day, which must be connected. To test her theory, Stella went to Tommy's house after school. Passing by a cornfield, they saw a bunch of police. Stella went in and found a scarecrow, dressed in Tommy's clothes. At that moment, Stella realized, if this scarecrow is Tommy, then the story in the book really happened to him last night, regardless of whether her guess was true. To avoid similar events, Stella put the book back. But back home, the book reappeared and started writing on its own. Frightened, Stella threw the book on the floor and tore several pages, but the story kept going. She immediately called Augie, telling him not to eat anything at home. Augie didn't believe her, saying he loved his mom's stew. But after a few bites, he spat out a rotten toe, grossed out. In panic, he spilled the stew, revealing all kinds of human body parts inside. Then he heard growling from the corridor. The rotten toe was coming for him. Augie hid under the bed, trembling, watching the door. Though the door opened, no monster appeared. Cautiously, he crawled out only to be dragged back by a hidden force. His nails scratched deep marks on the floor. But he couldn't escape. When Stella and friends arrived, Augie had vanished, as the book said, under the small bed. Realizing the danger, Stella called all friends who had explored the house to discuss a plan. They knew the next victim was among them. Chuck suggested calling the police, but the others quickly rejected it, knowing police wouldn't believe kids' ghost stories. They tried burning the storybook for more than an hour, but it remained untouched. To truly remove the curse, they had to get to the root, find out what really happened in Sarah's past. After persistent investigation, they found Sarah's whole family disappeared after Sarah hanged herself. Their names appeared in the book's early chapters. A news report said Sarah's maid taught her black magic. Luckily, the maid's young daughter, Lulu, was still alive and might hold the key to breaking the curse. Just then, the storybook started writing a new chapter, featuring Chuck's sister Ruth. Ruth was getting ready for a party but nervously popped a pimple, only to find something crawling inside. A black hair turned out to be a spider's leg. Suddenly, countless spiders emerged and covered her body. Luckily, Chuck arrived just in time, soaking her with water to wash off all the spiders. But his action seemed to anger a dark shadow nearby. Though Ruth was saved, the other three were still in danger. They found Lulu, now over 100 years old. Seeing the book, she became very emotional, saying it was a childhood gift to Sarah. Lulu denied any black magic, saying the book was Sarah's only hope when imprisoned, then started rambling nonsense. From Lulu's daughter, they learned Sarah didn't die at home but was hanged in a hospital. They immediately thought Sarah's medical records might be there. At the hospital, Chuck kept watch outside as Stella and Ramon snuck into the records room. They found Sarah's medical recordings revealing she had leprosy since childhood. Her family saw her as a bad omen and locked her away to protect their reputation. The missing children had nothing to do with Sarah, but were poisoned by toxic water discharged from the family's paper mill. To avoid suspicion, they forced Sarah to tell ghost stories and spread a scary legend to confuse authorities. Sarah died unjustly, became a vengeful ghost, using the book to curse anyone who touched it. Meanwhile, the book started a new story about Chuck. No matter where he ran, he encountered a pale, beautiful monster. Eventually, the monster trapped Chuck in an embrace. When Stella and Ramon arrived, they only found Chuck's dropped pen. After their break-in was reported, Stella and Ramon were detained at the station. A board officer guarding them opened the book out of curiosity. Just touching it, a new story appeared about Ramon, the next victim. Suddenly, a rotten head dropped from the fireplace. The officer drew his gun, but more limbs fell, assembling into a grotesque monster that snapped the officer's neck. The monster then targeted Ramon. Fortunately, Stella grabbed the officer's keys, opened the cell, and they escaped. Then they split the work. Ramon would drive to lure the monster away. Stella would return to the castle to break the curse. But before Ramon could get far driving the police car, the monster suddenly jumped onto the windshield, smashing the glass. Ramon slammed the brakes hard, using momentum to fling the monster off the hood. Stella arrived at the ancient castle, shouting for Sarah, insisting she knew Sarah was innocent and wanted to clear her name after 100 years. Suddenly, the garden shifted, and Stella was transported back in time, becoming Sarah and living her tragic fate. Locked away by her family, Stella experienced the curse firsthand. Ramon arrived but found no sign of Stella, only the storybook writing itself with her tale. Though Ramon heard Stella's cries, they were in different spaces, unable to find her. The terrifying monster followed Ramon, who tried to hide but failed. Just as the monster was about to catch him, Sarah's ghost appeared in another space, approaching Stella and promising to reveal the story's end. Stella stayed calm and revealed the truth, giving Sarah two choices: continue the vengeful story or trust her to clear her name. Sarah chose trust, gave Stella a pen, and asked her to write the true story with her own blood. Sarah's ghost finally released her torment and vanished, and the monster disappeared too. Back in reality, Stella kept her promise, published Sarah's true story, and after more than a century, justice was served, exposing the wrongful accusation.
And that's the end of the movie. If you liked the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more horror like this. Stay safe out there.
Shh.